Hello everyone and welcome to this Cleric build tutorial. This is Otto and he is playing this build since weeks. And special thanks for helping me, man. So let's build our Cleric. You will be 70% mage and 30% fighter. Let's make sure that we pick the human. Hooray for all human fans out there. You will have the most stat points of all. And yeah, we're not doing full Tendremic, we're doing not Sadukan. Very important, not Sadukan, Sidoyan. Okay, anyway, after misspelling this 20 times, here are the final stats, and please note, these are the final stats, so the Glade Gifts are already calculated in. So make your age 60, and then you will have more intelligence and more psi, and reduce the size to 180 centimeters. So you will have high mana but a little bit slow speed, but I will go into detail later. The strength is enough for basic weapons, like for example small clubs or swords and something like that. And your weight should be 170% to be very fat, to gain some extra points in intelligence. Oh man, I hope Star World will fix the sliders someday. I mean, I can't even... Oh man. I hope Star World will fix it someday. So anyway, we have a few more points left. It really doesn't matter where you put them in the character creation, because you can simply skill it the other way around in the game, so no problem here. Okay, now I'm trying to pick a hair, and I'm trying not to select the Hendrik look, but the human look like Hendrik. So yeah, I guess the brown hair will do it. I hope they will add a little bit more stuff through the character creation, because some more hairstyles and stuff would be awesome. It's not necessary, please fix bugs in-game first where people lose actually pixels. But now to the actual skills. And here it's very important, it says 1133 points. But for my friend Otto it works in-game with that skill tree, and he also included Survival 50 in that build too, so he has a total of 1170 points. So please note that the calculator is wrong sometimes. This skill tree and this skill selection actually works in game. So right now, to make it short, aggressive stance, yeah, you need that in close combat of course. Anatomy for bandages. If you don't have this, you won't heal as much. With bandages, of course. Armor training, that you don't wear paper armor, of course. But to your role on the battlefield, I will come to that later. Yeah, blocking in close combat is also a no-brainer. You really need blocking. It also reduces the damage you get through blocks. So yeah, you need that. Then any melee weapon, he choose clubs, because clubs is a very good weapon in close combat. Because a lot of people have high-end expensive armor, or even some normal mediocre armor. But no one, really nearly no one, wears our blunt defense armor. Because currently plate scales are not in game, so yeah, clubs is maybe a very good weapon option in general. So combat maneuvering, yeah, you really need that because of armor training, that is a primary overskill of armor training. Creature control if you want to ride horses, of course, or want to use good horses. But if you're just running around on foot and you don't care about horses, then yeah, drop that and use it elsewhere. Defensive stance in any close combat, even on range combat situations. Defensive stance is a very good option because it reduces the damage quite a lot, actually. In the old Mortal Online 1 it was like 3 damage and 5% of the end damage. But right now it's actually quite a little bit more. I don't know exactly, but it's noticeable. A video on that will follow. Economical spells, yeah, that is a no-brainer as a mage. Sure, we only have this magic school right now, but many magic schools are coming. So you can even combine this with other magic schools without any problem. Mental offense is also needed, that your spells do more damage, deal more damage. Mental training, yeah, that is also a no-brainer. That is the overskill, the over primary, so yeah, you need that of course. Sprinting, yeah, that is also a no-brainer. Unless you are the fattest fat mage ever. Sure, with this build you are fat as fuck, but you are also just a little bit slower, a few percentages under the twos are. But you have the advantage, you are in the back row on the battlefield, but more to that later. And Vitalism, yeah, of course, because of your mana regeneration and stuff, you need that. But now to the Glade Gifts chosen for this build, thanks to Otto, of course. Most important, the Cleric gift, of course, because it's also named like the build. Your mana regeneration is less impacted by armor weight. That is very important. Because compared to other builds that want to do the same, like a mage and a fighter and stuff, this is often a real problem that all these builds are wearing paper armor. But with the Cleric Glade Gift, you are able to wear at least wood armor, for example. You will have the human warcry like every other human do. And yeah, that is a pretty underestimated support buff. Because if you have a lot of human Kalaats, for example, they don't have a lot of Psy. They have Psy, but not a lot of Psy. You can buff them. And the Kalaat group is then very good at charging at the enemy. Because the mages can't do shit. Compared if you charge with a group of Thuzars, sure, if the group of Kalaats meets the group of Thuzars, the Thuzars will completely shred the Kalaats, of course. But in a normal group fight, you have a huge variety of people on the battlefield, and there will be a lot of mages and hybrids, and yeah, that is a very good, very powerful Glade Gift. Also very important, there are 3 skill levels in magic schools and the 3 skill points in combat maneuvering. Then you have a few more skill points left over, and that gives you more opportunity in general. So to summarize all this in a good written text from my friend Otto, the human cleric is slow moving, 410 maximum speed, but pretty effective self-sustaining hybrid. With his 117 intelligence, he is able to do decent spell damage, and he has nearly 200 mana to consume from. Also, he is able to wear 8 kg armor and still has an acceptable mana regeneration. Because you're a human, you have your Cleric Glade Gift. Without that Glade Gift, your mana regeneration would be decreased at 2 kg of armor. But now the calculation starts at 4 kg. With that big mana pool, you can even go up to 10 kg of armor, depending on how long the fight is. And if it's longer, no problem, you can use your shamanistic Glade Gift. And if you are in a big fight and you have a little room to breathe back there, then you could just sit down for about 10 seconds, 20 seconds or something like that to regain your mana. And even if you're out of your mana and you have no option to regain your mana, you will be a decent fighter, because this is actually a pretty decent fighter build too. The good thing in this game is you can nearly kill everything if you can play. So yeah, you have less stat points than a Kalaat, than a Thuzar, for example. But the main thing is you wielding a blunt weapon, a one-handed mace out of messing, for example, which also can hit the enemies with terrifying damage like in their 30s or 40s through their armor without a problem, even if it's steel, mostly it's bone right now. Or even if you want to have more range, you can use a spear with that build too without a problem. But here it comes, every build has its downsides, but speed is your weak spot. So you won't be the guy that outruns people and hunt them down like the Alvarins do, who inhaled too much salvia, of course. So instead you are the supporter in the backline, you do damage with your spells, and you heal your comrades. And in case of emergency, you can still fight in close combat. And remember, this guy is kind of a fat mage build, so you can consider it to play it on horse as well. And then you won't have a speed problem anymore. So special thanks to my Patreon supporters, Mohikaani, Dexter and Skiba. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe. And please also don't forget to make party hard all the time. Goodbye.